It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview Markus Coats from Clayton Football. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Brandon. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you got started playing football, knowing that you wanted to play in college and high school?
I started when I was little at the Clayton Football here in Clayton, and I think I was 4, and I've played every year since then until now.
Can you talk about playing offensive linebacker?
Really, like when I started playing when I was little, I've always been on the bigger side, so I always played line, and then a couple years I played linebacker growing up, and then when I got to high school, Coach Jinx just put me on the line. From my freshman year to my sophomore year, I grew like 3 inches. So from then on, I just stuck to playing offensive line, and I loved it.
Can you talk about what you plan to accomplish with the new head coach at Clayton that's coming in?
I mean, obviously, our biggest goal is a state championship, and then from there it's a week-to-week basis. So every week we want to come out with a win. So,
What are some famous traditions that you all celebrate at Clayton?
really, it's like brotherhood. So our biggest thing is really the weight room and the seat. You respect the seat. And, we started. I think it was my sophomore year. Our carpentry class built a big seat that we stretch before every game. We run out the tunnel. We started that, and that's basically it.
Can you talk about that experience running out of the tunnel, touching that sea, and what that is like?
It's really a feeling like none other. Running out, fans screaming. You got away teams. You got your team. I mean, you got like little kids standing at the tunnel as you walk in, and I mean, it's an unreal experience.
Can you talk about what a great football team Clayton has been over the years?
It's since like Clayton's a small town, and since my dad grew up and went there, and since he was there, it's just been it's one of those traditions. Whether they're good or bad, everybody goes and watches them, and year to year, they're definitely been good. So it's always something in the fall. Everybody in the town looks forward to going to a Friday night game.
Can you talk about the recruitment process for you and what that's like so far?
So far it's been pretty good. With all the coronavirus stuff, it kind of like halted a lot of stuff, as far as like going on visits and stuff, being able for coaches to come out and see me for like spring ball and summer ball. But right now it's just trying to take it a day by day and do what I can with what's going on.
What are some schools that are looking at you?
Right now I have Furman, NC State, Catawba. Those are mainly the 3 that are really interested. But I've been in talks with a bunch of D2s and a couple of smaller D1s.
What D2 schools have you been in talk with?
I've talked to Lenore Ryan, Catawba, Marshfield, Wingate, and there's a bunch of smaller ones like Outer State. There's Oberlin. They're in Cincinnati and Chicago. That's the only ones I can think of right now.
Has Barton reached out to you knowing that they just started a football team?
I have talked to their offensive line coach, Coach Orban. They're more newer, so I mean, I haven't really talked to them about playing there, but I have spoken to them before.
Can you talk about what it was like going on the visits to like NC State and the other schools that you went on to?
Really, like since my sophomore year, it was like watching, because I got there soon, like when Savion was getting highly recruited and Devin and all them, so it was kind of like a thing I've always wanted to do. So when I got the chance to do that, it was like once in a lifetime moment. So I really enjoyed it. I've been to ECU, Furman, NC State, Lenore Ryan. Can't remember if I went anywhere else. But I think those are the main ones.
How did it feel to put on, for example, the NC State jersey and the ECU and Furman jersey?
It was kind of it was wow, I could really play outside of high school. It's always been a dream, so it kind of became reality.
Can you talk about what junior day was like for you?
It was basically like being able to meet the coaches without it's a visit for underclassmen. A lot of times seniors basically just go on their visits their senior year. So if you're a junior or sophomore, you're basically really lucky to go. So to be able to be honored, I think I went my sophomore year on junior day to NC State, and it was really cool. I got to meet Coach Garrison. He just came in. It was really, really cool experience.
What do you plan on accomplishing in this upcoming spring year for Clayton?
The biggest goal is a state championship, but with the way things are, I don't even know what they're doing with the playoffs. So honestly, we have 7 regular season games, so we're gonna take it week by week. And my goal is to go 7-0 in the regular season. If we have playoffs, we take it week by week in the playoffs.
What advice would you give upcoming high school athletes looking to get recruited to the next level?
Some days, they might be hard on you, 2 weeks recruiting you, and then they might stop talking to you, but then come back. So don't get disheartened if they stop talking to you. There's plenty of choices. I mean, obviously you can play, somebody's gonna find you, and you're gonna be able to go play there. So, another piece of advice I would give them is don't blow yourself up thinking going D1 is the route. I mean, you can go anywhere you want to. You can D3, D2, JUCO if you need to. But other than that, man, you just really got to keep your grades up. And if that's your goal, you got to stay hard on it.
What advice would you give upcoming football players looking to get into football in high school?
Talk to your coaches. Get involved. The more you're involved, the more they know your name, the more chances you'll get and more opportunities you'll have. Coming out of middle school, I became friends with Coach Jinks and talked to him a lot. So I had a pretty good opportunities my freshman and sophomore year. And so when you're given those opportunities, you just got to make the best of them.
Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
I have a Twitter and my Instagram. Basically, the 2 I'm most active on. I think they both have the same username. It's just Markus Coats, and then I think my Instagram is marcus.coats.
Thank you again, Markus, for your interview, and best of luck in your future in the recruitment process along with this upcoming football season at Clayton.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Markus, for your interview.
Yes, sir.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.